What's the most out-of-touch thing you've ever heard a person say? During a break room discussion on how one of my coworkers was having to go on food stamps because the job didn't pay enough, the new CEO, who for the first and last time decided to eat in the lunchroom, dropped this gem. Yeah, I know what you mean. We had to let our second nanny go. Oh no, you poor thing, having to get rid of the second nanny? I don't know how you could be the CEO of a company hearing your workers are going on food stamps and feel that that's the best time to A, not pay them more, and B, flex the fact that you used to have two nannies? What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Sorry about the break, I'm back now. I don't know how frequently I'll be posting, but the Reddit videos will be coming out again. And yeah, today we're going to be going over a Ask Reddit thread I found, which basically just houses some of the most out-of-touch people you've ever heard of, so let's go. I remember my granddad telling me about getting a job when I was 15, and he said, you gotta be persistent. Keep going in every day and ask for a chance. They'll admire your persistent and dedication, and you'll get it eventually. It felt backwards, but I tried it, and to this day I'm still barred from that pub because I was harassing the manager. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that you probably shouldn't be taking career advice from Grandpa no more, bro. Back in his day, people were chain-smoking cigarettes in the office, dude. I'm not surprised you got banned. Imagine just some person showing up at your work every day demanding a job and just not taking the hint no. Not on you, but Grandpa's advice is a little outdated. Half my apartment flooded with raw sewage, and the manager was like, it's not that bad. It's not uninhabitable. Yeah, I'm pretty sure raw sewage is like the definition of uninhabitable, but alright, you do you, manager. Aren't you a bit too old to have a grandma? A neighbor to me when I told her my grandma had just passed away. I really hope you looked at her and said, aren't you a little too old to be this stupid? Everybody's got a grandma, man. And even then, even if he is old for his grandma to be alive, probably not the best thing to say to someone who's just passed. When a guy on this subreddit was upset at his wife for making him quote-unquote babysit their kid too much, so he and his mom told her there'd be no more going out. He said him going out all the time was different than her, and when asked for clarification, he said it's because she's better at changing diapers to get the baby to sleep. It truly blows my mind that there's morons out there who think taking care of their own children is babysitting. Yeah, man, I'm sure going out is fun, but you have a kid now, and because it's your kid, you are now responsible for watching and babysitting as much as his mother is. What type of crazy world are you living in where you're like, no, you're gonna stay and watch the kid all the time and I'm gonna go do all the fun stuff. Okay, bye. It's your kid, bro. Had a friend in dental school who grew up in the rich suburbs north of Detroit. We were talking about traveling because she was going to Thailand on spring break, and she said, I'd be surprised if most people haven't traveled to at least 20 countries. I told her I'd be surprised if most people had ever left at all. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a giant stretch that most people have been to 20 countries. I know most people haven't even left their state yet. I feel like this is just something you don't realize how expensive it is to travel, Yeah, you've been to 20 countries. You're not realizing that the average person can't just afford to knock out multiple countries a year. I recently got a new job that paid double what I used to make, and when I resigned, my former boss told me that money isn't everything, but I was only making minimum wage before. I agree that money isn't everything, but if you're going from minimum wage to double minimum wage, your life's gonna get quite a bit better, dude. This boss is insanely out of touch. It's not like you're leaving for a 0.2% pay increase. That might be a little bit petty. Doubling your wage, especially for minimum wage, yeah, I'd be out too. I used to work for a minor aristocrat. Some advice that he gave out in absolute sincerity over the years was, don't take out a mortgage, whatever you do. Those are terrible things and you end up paying a lot more for your house, The thing about a Bentley is that you have to have a crap car too. I mean, there are times when a Bentley just isn't appropriate and what you need is a crappy car. Crap car later turned out to be an expensive Alfa Romeo, and a Bentley turned out to be several Bentleys. Recommending the Ritz in London as a place for regular after-work drinks. And I don't know how anyone survives on their company salary alone. His salary was more than 500 grand a year. How has this guy not figured out a way to live on 500 grand a year, bro? Honestly, I think that's the most stupefying thing of all of this. This guy sounds so dramatically out of touch if he thinks $500,000 a year is not an insane amount of money. Sort of tangential, but back in college, the entire class had a 10-minute argument with one student who didn't understand that not every country has citizenship by birth laws like the US. The professor held off jumping in for about 5 minutes to try to watch us explain it to her, but couldn't take it anymore and figured the student would believe it when she said it. Nope, she started arguing with the professor too. The total out of touch part came when she finally conceded with, well, that's stupid. They should just do it the way that we do things here. What goes together better than Americans not knowing what's going on and then claiming that we do it the best anyways, baby? USA, USA. My old neighbors didn't see the point of taking their kids that were 3 and 6 to the playground nearby or anywhere for that matter because he found it boring. The 2 kids spent every day in the house in front of the TV. Why would we go to the playground? I find it boring. Well, you're their dad, so you probably should find it boring, but it's not necessarily all about what you want anymore, dude. Some people just shouldn't have kids. I was working at a school for the kids of the 1%, and we were discussing what a millionaire was. And one example I gave was owning property and assets worth $1 million or over, and the kid replied, "Oh, so everyone's a millionaire then?" Oh, everyone's a millionaire. Yeah, if your house counts, then everyone should be a millionaire because everyone's living in an at least $1 million house. Am I right, guys? Meanwhile, everyone else at this top 1% school is only $1 million, Suggested someone take the bus to save on gas prices, and they responded with, "Ew, do you know what kind of people take the bus? Yeah, working class people and me?" Why? I don't understand why some people are so against public transit. The bus isn't great, The Las Vegas bus system isn't known for its magic. That being said, if you're complaining a crap ton about gas prices, then you kind of, lose the right to complain about who's on the bus, bro. When I was 16, I lost my dad. Our family is very, very close, and I wasn't expecting it, so it hit pretty hard. About a month after his death, I was picking up a book at a friend's house, but my friend wasn't home, so her mother was the one to give me the book. She asked how my family was, and I said we were trying to get back on our feet, and her exact words were, "Oh, don't worry, honey. Give it a year or two and you won't even forget your father, and he won't even remember he existed." I was so shocked, and she continued saying that first we forget voices and then their faces, and I left her house feeling numb, sad, and scared I would forget my dad. Why in the world would you ever think this is the thing to say in this moment? "Oh, how is your family doing ever since your dad died? It's been awful." Well, on the bright side, you're gonna forget him in 3 to 6 months. Good luck, loser. My goodness gracious. The company owes you nothing, and you owe the company everything. My boss, after I had worked 4 years at the company. Just to clarify, you never owe your company loyalty, alright? Maybe in a very, very rare example where it's a good company. But for the most part, if you're working for a huge corporate chain, don't sacrifice yourself for them, bro, because they're just gonna replace you the second that they can. Let's be honest, dude. There's no reason for you to be insanely loyal to a Taco Bell, even if you've been there for 4 years. I don't know what job this guy has, but regardless, there's no reason to be loyal to a company that ain't gonna have your back. I don't know why you would go to a community college when you can go to a university. Said by a high school guidance counselor giving a lecture on college admission essays and applications in my senior AP English class after I asked naively if there's anything I had to do for community college. Turns out I had other classmates in the same boat who just wanted to know and felt too embarrassed to ask. Anyways, I went to community college to get my prerequisites out of the way and got my associate's degree, and then transferred into university for a competitive nursing program, saved money for the first 2 years, and didn't get a loan until I got to university. I never understood why people thought it was so much better to go to a university for all 4 years. Hey, if you get in and you really want that experience, I'm not gonna judge you at all. That being said, I don't think there's any shame in going to community college and saving money to take the same math class you're gonna take at the university for double the price. Until you're into your actual training, it doesn't matter. I work at a grocery store in an area that's mostly students, but adjacent to a couple super affluent neighborhoods. We get lots of students using EBT and food stamps, but also a lot of wealthy middle-aged people. One time, I'd scanned and bagged a girl's groceries. When she swiped her EBT card, it was $5 short. I turned the transaction screen around, and we chose a few items to void so that she could pay and also have a little left on her card, and then I removed the items from the bag. She paid, got her receipt, etc. And by this time, the man behind her has been waiting for about 4 or 5 minutes. I ring him up for his cart, which included a $50 bottle of scotch, and he starts saying how rude it was that the girl didn't just pay with her other card. Normally, I would just change the subject, but he kept talking about it. He's doing this. I ask if he knows how many smoked salmons are in his cart so I can enter a quantity, and he says, "Oh, I'm not sure, a bunch." Not that it matters, but smoked salmon is super pricey, and it just added to the whole experience. Finally, I finished bagging his groceries, and he hands me one of the ostentatious, metal, heavy, thick, whatever credit cards and goes, "This one won't decline," and winked at me. I guess it wasn't one thing he said, it was just such an uncomfortable interaction, and he was annoyed and confused by a girl not using her other card. I honestly don't even know if he understood how debit cards work, let alone EBT cards, and I'm glad she left and didn't have to listen. Also, who even ends up eating 7 smoked salmon? Oh man, this one just hurt, dude. Just because he's so unaware. Oh, yeah, why didn't you just use your other card? I don't know, bro. Not many people are walking around with a bunch of credit cards, and that's not exactly how food stamps work. But way to show that you have no situational awareness, my guy. Taking out student loans is stupid. Just get a part-time job and stop buying lattes so you can pay your way like I did. Said to me by a coworker who graduated in the 70s. Yeah, you just stopped buying lattes because college cost about a latte back then, bro. Now it costs an entire Starbucks franchise to graduate. Things have changed. I attended a typical rich kid's high school as one of the non-rich kids, at least to the standards of the environment I was in. My family was solidly middle class. The amount of asinine, delusional crap I heard on the daily basis made my skin crawl. When my ex-friend turned 16, her parents gave him one of their Beamers. The thing was maybe 5 years old, and she non-stop complained about the fact her parents had the audacity to give her a used car instead of buying her a new Audi like she wanted. One day, she was on another diatribe about how much her parents sucked for giving her a hand-me-down car, and I snapped and told her she should be grateful her parents had the means to give her own car in the first place, let alone a luxury vehicle. Her response, "Well, it isn't my problem your parents don't work hard enough. I was a peasant who shared one of my parents' cars or took the bus, obviously." Ah yes, complaining about your 5-year-old BMW makes total sense, especially when it's your first car. And then when people point out it's ridiculous to complain, just call their parents stupid, lazy, and poor. Seems like the only logical way you could possibly react to what he said. Yeah, it makes sense to me. A year ago, we were putting offers on houses and our budget was low compared to what was available. And so the realtor asked, "Well, why can't your parents help pitch in?" Which makes me think a lot of people are lucky enough for their parents to help with the home buying process, but not us. Come on, man, just call your parents. Don't they have tens of thousands of dollars to give you to help buy a house? It's like, well, I don't know. You're right, I should ask. They better, if they've been holding out on me. Nah, most people do not have parents in a situation to help them buy a house, or let alone be able to buy a house right now at all. Prices are so insane. My boss told me that leasing of our company car is ending and I could buy it for really cheap if I want. Really cheap meant 20,000 euros for him, and he pays me $750 a month. I'm still in training, that's why it's so little. I live on my own and have a car, so basically I'd have to work 2 years for their really cheap car without spending a cent on anything. I'll give you a really good deal. It's just 2 full years of your salary without any other spending. Oh, my goodness, boss, I didn't realize you were giving me such a bargain. Of course I'll take it. Seriously though, dude, how out of touch do you have to be to assume 20,000 isn't a substantial amount of money? Oh, come on, man, this is nothing. Just pull it out of your pocket. A woman told me that having to show her Costco membership card upon entering the building was the worst thing that has ever happened to me, and she was dead serious. I was on my 6th day of a migraine and would love to have the worst event of my life be having to show a membership card. Ah yes, the elusive Costco membership card. Being asked to show it is literally the worst thing that could ever happen to you. My question is, like, did this person ever go to a Costco? Call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure the one thing everyone knows about Costco is you have to have a membership and they ask to see the membership. Like, you literally have to be going to Costco for the first time to be insulted that they asked to see your membership card. 4 of my millennial friends and I rented a house from a boomer some years ago. After signing the lease, the boomer turns to us and asks why we're not buying homes and flipping them like he does. This was before the mega boom in housing prices, and we explained we wouldn't be renting if we had buying house money. I'm shocked how many people just don't realize that buying a house is insanely expensive. Like, I didn't realize that it was so common for people to just assume that everybody can go out flipping houses willy-nilly. Come on, why don't you guys have your own HGTV show like I do? It's like, because you have an HGTV show and we don't? Like, not everybody has the money to be flipping houses every week, Dan. We're human beings and the sun is the sun. How can it be bad for you? I don't think anything natural can be bad for you. Gwyneth Paltrow, 2013. Let's just say if I get bitten by a rattlesnake, I shouldn't be worried because the venom is natural, isn't it? I feel like Gwyneth Paltrow is always saying this stuff, you know? With her, like, company and that Netflix thing they did, there was a bunch of gems in there where you're like, oh, okay, yeah. The sun can't be bad for you? Nah, skin cancer's not real. Nah, sunburn's not real. Everything natural's good for you? Hey, yo, I know she didn't mean it like this, but hurricane's a part of nature, baby. Let's get it started. How can it be bad? Anyways, guys, I think that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did enjoy this and had a couple times where you questioned how people could be so out of touch, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. If you really want to help me out, I do post some of my content over on Spotify, so you can listen to it offline without gameplay, whatever floats your boat. So the link to that will be in the top of the description. Be sure to go check it out. Use code Scrubby at the G Fuel checkout. And yeah, on that note, guys, that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.